The past few years, we've done something a little bit different for the sermon on Christmas Day. And so what this is designed to be is really a letter from home, from our Heavenly Father to you, His dear child, that meets us in this time of, yes, joy and gladness, but also Christmas brings about its own reflection, and maybe its own pain points and its own griefs. So as you take in this letter, please take it to heart, because your Heavenly Father loves you, and He sees you, He knows you, and you are in His family. And so, to you, God's dear child, I have this letter from home. My dearest child, there are goodbyes that announce themselves loudly, and then there are the quiet ones that slip up beside you while you are still singing. And this Christmas is the second kind. You're standing in a place that has held your prayers for decades, a place that knows your footsteps, your laughter, your tears, walls that learned your voice, corners that absorbed your silence, a space that did not just host your life, but witnessed it. And now you know, even if you have not said it out loud yet, that this is the last Christmas you'll celebrate here. And I know what that does to the heart. You did not expect to grieve a building. You did not plan to mourn a place, but places become containers for love. They hold memory the way earth holds rain. And when a place that felt permanent begins to loosen its grip, something inside you aches. Not because you loved the bricks too much, but because you loved what happened here. The baptisms, the hymns, the Christmas candles, the whispered prayers you thought no one heard, but I always did. The seasons when joy spilled easily, the seasons when you dragged yourself through the door barely holding together. This place held you through all of it, and now it's changing. And my child, you are allowed to grieve that. See, grief is not ingratitude. Grief is love that has nowhere to rest for a moment. Loss does not mean I have failed you. It means you're human. You were never meant to pass through life untouched by longing. Even Eden, as beautiful as it was, could not remain unchanged once the world fractured. Nothing in this age stays fixed. Not buildings, not routines, not seasons, not even the things you thought would always be there. I see the way this goodbye stirs something deeper. It's not just about this place. It's about all the places you thought would not change. The relationships you assumed would remain intact. The chapters you thought would stretch on longer, the versions of life you imagined would last. When one thing moves, it shakes the shelf of everything else. And so Christmas arrives this year carrying both joy and ache. Familiar songs sound different when you know they will not echo here again. The decorations feel heavier with meaning. The memories press closer, and you find yourself touching walls with your eyes, lingering longer than usual, trying to store away what cannot be packed. I am not distant from this. I am not impatient with your sadness. I am not asking you to rush past it into forced celebration. I am the one who wept at a tomb, even knowing resurrection was minutes away. I do not scold tears. I enter them. You see, my child, this ache you feel is far older than this building. In fact, it's older than your memories. It's the ache of exile. The ache of knowing that even the best places are temporary, that even the holiest spaces on earth are still only signposts, that no matter how long you stay, something in you is always quietly listening for another home. That ache has followed my children since the garden. I remember the first home, the way the air felt before fear existed, the way Adam and Eve moved through space without suspicion, without shame. They did not cling to the ground beneath their feet because they never imagined it could be taken from them. Home was not something they defended, it was something they breathed. And then everything shifted. Since that day, my children have built homes knowing, even if they try not to admit it, that homes can be lost. They plant gardens and raise walls and light candles against the dark, always hoping this one will last, always aching when it does not. This place you are saying goodbye to mattered. I was present here. I met you here. I fed you here. I forgave you here. I formed you here. And I do not minimize that. I do not treat it as disposable. I cherish what unfolded within these walls more than you know. But my child, I never meant this place to be your final home. And that is not failure. That is mercy. If I let you settle too comfortably here, you would forget to lift your eyes. If everything stayed exactly as you wished, you would begin to believe permanence belonged to you now. But permanence is not yet your inheritance. Promise is. And that's why your brother Jesus speaks so often about the place he is preparing for you. He knows how deeply you attach to spaces. He knows how much weight memory carries. He knows how hard goodbyes hit you. And so he keeps saying it, not to rush you away from this world, but to steady you within it. I am going to prepare a place for you. Not an idea, not a metaphor, a real place, a true home. And your brother Jesus does not shame you for loving this home. He honors it by offering you a better one that does not need to be relocated, one that does not wear down, one that will not ask you to say goodbye. But he also knows something else. He knows that the way he prepares you for that home, is not by removing you from grief, but by walking you through it. And that is why he came the way that he did. Think about this, my child. Christmas is the story of God entering homelessness. The Word made flesh did not arrive to settle comfortably. He arrived knowing every place he touched would one day reject him. He slept in borrowed rooms. He ate at borrowed tables. He was buried in a borrowed tomb. He knew what it was to love places that would not keep him. He chose that for you. So when you stand in a sanctuary you're about to leave, your grief is not solitary. It's shared. It's understood. It's already held inside his own story. You may feel disoriented right now. Relocation can do that. It loosens your sense of ground. It makes the future feel foggy. It stirs fear you did not expect. What will this new place feel like? Will it hold us the same way? Will it feel like home or just another building? Will something be lost that cannot be replaced? Let me tell you something gently but clearly. Home is not finally about geography. It never was. This place became home because I was here with you, because my word was spoken, because my promises were given, because forgiveness was pronounced, because bodies and souls were fed. Wherever those gifts go, home goes with them. But even that is not the deepest truth. The deepest truth is this: I am your home. Not metaphorically, not sentimentally, ontologically, truly, existentially, I am the place you were made to dwell. Every time you feel unsettled by change, every time you grieve what is passing, every time you ache for something more solid than this world offers, that is your heart of faith remembering where it came from. I am not uprooting you to abandon you. I am leading you the way I always have. Through tent and temple, through exile and return, through cross and resurrection, through loss into life. This Christmas, as you light candles in a place you will soon leave, I want you to notice something. The light does not belong to the building. It never did. It burns because I am faithful. It shines because the darkness has not overcome it. You are not losing everything. You are being carried forward. And yes, it will hurt. It's supposed to. Love always does when it releases its grip. Do not numb that. Do not rush past it. Let yourself feel the weight of what has been given you here. Gratitude and grief often share the same breath, but do not confuse grief with fear. Fear says you are losing ground. Grief says something mattered. Fear says the future is unsafe. Grief says the past was a gift. I am not asking you to pretend this goodbye is easy. I am asking you to trust that I do not waste goodbyes. There are things I have done in you here that could not have happened anywhere else. And there are things I will do in your next home that cannot happen here anymore. I am not done forming you. I am not done gathering my people. I am not done building spaces where grace will break in on tired souls. And your brother Jesus is not done preparing. He still talks about it, about the place where nothing creaks with age, where no candle burns out, where no song becomes a last time, where no goodbye is required because nothing ends. He talks about rooms filled with laughter that does not echo because it never fades. about a table where every seat is permanently occupied by those who once stood where you are now, aching and hopeful all at once. That place is not fragile. This one is. And so joyfully grieve this Christmas. Hold the memories close. Sing with a lump in your throat. Let the tears come when they need to. I am not embarrassed by them. I count them. And then, when the ache tightens, lift your eyes. Because the child in the manger is already the carpenter of your eternal home. Because the hands that once reached for straw are shaping something no fire can destroy. Because the voice that cried in the night will one day call you fully home. This Christmas is not the end of the story. It's the turning of the page. And I am still with you, here, there, and forever. I love you with an everlasting love. Your Heavenly Father.